evening, everyone. My name is David Marks. I'm on the North End Waterfront Neighborhood Council, Public Safety Committee Chair. I welcome you to the January 2015 North End Public Safety meeting. Captain Bond, Jimmy Chin, Officer Boyle, we're all here.
Good evening. Just want to go over some of the crime stats for the last 30 days. So actually it's a little more than 30 days because we missed the week through the New Year, so Happy New Year, belated New Year, everybody. This time period there was one robbery, one breaking and entering, that's down from 5 at the same time period last year. One auto theft and 6 larcenies, which is up to 3 this time. And I'll go reach these individual incidents. So there were 5 arrests during this time period. One was a warrant arrest, 2 were for assault and battery, 1 was for willful and malicious destruction of property, and 1 was for forgery. The robbery incident that we had occurred on December 17th at 11:16 p.m. And the victim, who was a female, reported that she was in the area of 463 Hanover Street, and she was robbed of her white Apple cell phone. She said she was punched in the face, and the suspect was a white female. The suspect was described as a medium build, white female, and that's the only description that we had. And the phone was taken. So this was obviously kind of an unusual incident. We don't have many robbery, particularly female suspects. The victim hasn't recontacted us, so we haven't been able to really follow up on this particular incident. But it's very unusual, and this hasn't repeated itself in the North End area or anywhere else in the District 1 area. The one breaking and entering incident we have that had occurred at 242 North Street. That happened on December 28th at 8 a.m. is when it was reported, and the victim reported that he was on vacation, came home to his apartment and found some property missing. And he said he doesn't know how they entered the apartment, but electronics, jewelry, and clothing were taken in that incident. The auto theft that we had was on Snow Hill Street, a vehicle parked there, a white 2005 Hyundai Sonata with main plates. That was stolen on December 20th, sometime between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. And that vehicle was subsequently recovered on Oliver Street in Boston. And we don't know if the keys were left in that car in this particular case, but during the winter months, it's not unusual that people leave cars running because it's cold. And lately, about a third of the motor vehicle thefts that we had involved cars that had their keys left in it running. So we're just advising everybody not to leave their cars running, and that'll hopefully solve some of the car theft problems. Of the 6 larceny incidents, they just kind of all scattered about. One was at the Paul Revere house. The wooden sign was removed and stolen at 19 North Square. That happened on December 5th. At 109 Salem Street on December 12th, around 7:45 p.m. at Benevento's, a woman said she was eating in the restaurant and then found her wallet was missing. And that was a female suspect was captured on video. And we actually have a suspect who's involved in similar thefts in the downtown area in that particular incident. So that was currently under investigation by Lieutenant Wilson's.
Getting more detectives.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. On December 19th at 12 p.m. there was a package stolen from the steps at 22 Henchman Street. And at 185 Fulton Street on December 22nd, there was a neighbor was found rifling through the victim's bedroom drawer and attempting to steal some money and prescription drugs. And that suspect's been identified in that particular case. And at 61 Salem Street, there was a shoplifting of 2 scarves at Selma Vindy's. And that happened on January 8th at just before 6 p.m. And 5 Baker's Alley off North Street. This was also a package theft that occurred on December 22nd. And the package thefts have actually died down quite a bit because a lot of the holiday, Christmas activities are not, around now. We're advising people either way if they can have the package shipped to maybe work or a friend that's home, something like because when a package is sitting around all day, just someone's tempted to go by and steal it. And just a couple of arrests that occurred, actually, only two I'm going to cover. Both happened at Cafe Pompeii at 280 Hanover Street. The first incident occurred on December 14th at 2:23 a.m. As officers responded to a call for a fight there. And there were several males fighting, and a table upstairs and a table downstairs were damaged. And so the guys fled the area, but officers found them on Snow Hill Street. And they were both arrested for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, which was a shod foot, assault and battery, and malicious destruction of property. And the second incident there occurred on January 3rd at 3:10 a.m. And this was a commotion between the suspect and his friends. He became disruptive, and as he left, he was told to leave by the manager, and then as he left, he punched the window and broke the glass of the store. He was detained by the manager and several staff members, and then the police arrived, and he was placed under arrest and charged with malicious destruction of property and disturbing the peace. And that suspect, he was from South Boston. And that covers all the crime incidents that we've had over this time period. It's been relatively quiet, and traditionally during this time of year, it's quiet with the students away. Actually, the students are back this Tuesday. And we're also going to resume the Gamecock coverage in Suffolk on the weekend nights, just to keep a lid on things. And the only other thing that we have coming up potentially is the Patriots game on the 18th next Sunday. And we're fielding additional units as well, just because we expect that there'll be some kind of, crowd and some potentially rowdy kids or rowdy parties. But we'll be prepared for that. So that's all I have.
It's interesting because when we did our neighborhood walkthrough, we did the two restaurants. We stopped at Cafe Pompeii. Now, granted, we didn't stop there real late at night. We were listening to the managers, and whether they were being honest or not, they could tell us at the time that things were pretty quiet. And then, then when we did go back late at night, we spoke to the female manager, and she said, we experienced a little bit of everything, but she didn't point out anything out of the ordinary, no fights, no arrests, and then here we are. Two, just in the last two groups.
Right. And historically, there's been a lot of this type of activity.
It's always there.
It's always there, definitely there. After hours,
Sure. When, and if you don't mind asking Pepper or mentioning, at our neighborhood council or our monthly meeting back on Monday night, I didn't really have too much of a public safety committee update to give, but I did voice my opinion on the casinos. And I said, from a public safety point of view, nothing more, nothing less. I just pointed out, I said, when was the last time you ever heard property values going up in an area where a casino was eventually built? Nope. So when have you ever heard of crime rates surrounding where a casino is open? When have you ever heard that crime rates went down? And the incidence of gambling addiction going down? I said, I cannot put conscious support casino effort. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Put you in a bad place, but do the police have, or at least you in particular, have any opinion? Casino and how it would feel? Not just
not an opinion, but we also host the monthly meeting with Charlestown residents and businesses, and the primary concern there is traffic in that Sullivan Square area. It's already kind of a dangerous road as it is, and then to have a lot of additional traffic come through there, and then also it's anticipated that Charlestown uses a shortcut down Main Street to get into Everett. So most of the issues are around traffic, but there's also concerns that people expressed about disturbances and other things that might come over that way. Mainly traffic.
I'm from a team that did article on the public street about Charlestown. You feel that maybe should be Charlestown says nothing. They might get anything out of it other than traffic.
Yeah. Did they say that Steve Wynn's proposed plan for the access road was not deemed to be good enough?
Yeah, I don't think they've reached an agreement yet on kind of what.
That suit's still on hold.
Yeah.
As of today, it's on hold. I don't know if he wants it then. The mirror is absolutely white, but it's not a whole city. So, not being a whole city, going to a different kind of ball.
Yeah.
They don't have to do
Even though it is
But
kind of
he has them with a
way
permit.
out. Yeah.
it. So, that's his way. You want to serve milk, you want to cross city roads, you want to do this. So, standoff as of this morning.
Anyone have any concerns or questions, anything that they've experienced or heard from residents in the last month or so?
I'd like to congratulate you, the Elliott School students came down
Yes, they did.
and wrote a little something very saying, nice things about the police department.
That was nice, that was a nice thing.
So, yeah, so last, what day was that?
I think it was the 7th.
Yeah, last week was on a Friday, was it last Friday? The 35 fifth graders from the Elliott School
Last Friday.
Annex came down and visited us at about 1:30 in the afternoon, and they all made cards thanking the Boston Police for, helping out just, the community and safety in general. And two of the teachers accompanied them, and it was just awesome, So we had the officers come in, we got them some hot chocolate and cookies, and it was one of those cold days, and so it was nice that they got in, and we got to meet all the kids, and we high-fived everybody on the way out, and it was a great time, so it's a great school, and that was up on our Facebook page as well, so.
The good thing about it is nobody identified me.
Thanks, Phil. Any other concerns or issues?
I have one other thing. The only other thing that I really mentioned or touched upon during my brief public safety update on Monday night was the recent coverage given to Boston's low homicide clearance rate. I read articles about it, especially over the last 10-year period. And that was something I was hoping the mayor would have talked about during his speech. Although he touched upon a lot of topics, with details too, so I give him a lot of credit. Any opinion on that? I did preface my comment by saying we're very fortunate we are not confronted by that type of crime in the North End. I mean, I didn't take that for granted, obviously.
Sure.
But, and I actually asked Boston City Councilor at Large, Michelle Wu, I asked her opinion about that because she appeared on council. Any opinion or what can be done to try to bring that clearance?
Well, and again, that's an issue of, Boston is kind of unique in the way it investigates homicides. There's a very close relationship with the district attorney's office. The district attorney's office actually kind of steers the investigation, and they make the decision on whether or not to make an arrest and go forward with the case. And the district attorney, rightfully, I think, has a very high bar on whether or not to go forward with the case. So in other jurisdictions where you might have a high clearance rate, in order to clear a crime such as homicide, you can clear it by making an arrest is the primary way it's cleared. And I'm not saying they do, but someone can just be arrested in that particular case, but it's not a particularly strong case that if it goes to trial, then they'd be found not guilty. The conviction rate by the Suffolk County DAs is
high.
Is very, very high. So, maybe if you balance that in, that could, change kind of the perception of that clearance number. And then the other issue on clearances is in actually solving the crimes is getting community cooperation. And that's a big piece that always, can use some more work where we can get people to cooperate more fully in investigations.
They're going to cut the witness protection.
The funding has been cut for the witness protection as well.
100%.
Yeah,
So-
I think it's down from $1 million to 100,000,
Yep.
so that's big. And the Boston Police Department has added an additional homicide squad, so we have an additional sergeant, 3 detectives assigned to the homicide unit as well. And there's a lot of additional resources we put into the homicide unit, so hope we'll turn that around.
Are you getting enough input from the residents? Not 911 calls, input. Different, people just
Sure.
saying, and I speak to the captain or the sergeant, I don't want to go in. Are you getting any input from the North End about different things, drug-related things? I know you get calls on the playground.
Yeah.
I know that for sure, I call myself.
Right, we actually do, and the mayor's office has an email hotline system. Well, actually you can call, you can email, you can write, and all that stuff comes to us. And so a lot of it is not necessarily crime related, but quality of life related issues. There's like an individual at Pizzeria Regina who's dealing with just kind of trying to get into his place and there's people hanging out there. There are little things like that, and we try to address them pretty quickly. Officer Teddy Boyle is very responsive to those issues. And, you know, we do get them and we address them pretty quickly. But most of them revolve around quality of life issues. Again, this time of year, it's pretty quiet. Usually what we do get is issues with the kids partying and that sort of thing. So, you know, hopefully we want to keep a nice damper on things, keep the kids in check until.
Well, that's good to know, you know, because I get a lot of calls myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't guys number.
Yeah, and feel free to pass along any information. And I know, David, I know you don't hesitate when you text me on weekends, nights, holidays.
I don't get a phone. In case I have to write a story or something.
Right.
I don't want to be the direct person to call you.
Yeah.
And then to call you.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And we like people, obviously. We want to know what's going on. We'd rather get ahead of a problem before you know, continues, festers, or escalates.
Now, I have one more question, if you don't mind. Now that Officer Boyle has been recognized by the community, do you have to call him sir?
I've always called him sir, right, Teddy? Yeah, no, Teddy, well deserved.
I did 2 stories on him. Come up with it. I'm gonna get him some copies. He said he read it, but I don't think so. It's done in Braille.
Yeah, that was the Fred Colangelo Award
Yep.
for public safety. It's awesome, Teddy. Great job.
I'm just bringing out things because I know you won't blow your own.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other,
Now, I'm going home and watch The Taste. There's an North End woman, she wins,
Oh,
she
yeah,
gets in the
that's right.
finals.
That's right.
Her name is Royal, Jen Royal. Now, I know the results because it's taped, so I can't reveal what it is.
It's worth the secrecy.
How do you know the results of this tape?
Because you can't reveal the results. It's on television. When you go on a game show like that. it
But how do you
continues-
know it though?
I have friends. So you get from the.
Someone that seems to-
I called Channel 5, my contact I used to have at the airport, I said, who won this freaking thing?
Okay, so we done officially over?
Yeah, we'll see you in February.
Good job. When's the next meeting?
Next meeting?
February 4th, I believe. It's the first Thursday.
First Thursday of the
every
month at
month.
6:30 PM, so that should be, like I said,
February 5th.
Thursday, February 5th, right here, 6:30 PM.